how broke are Americans when it comes to our food system? You know, we hear a warning from McDonald's and they say, well, here's the problem. Then we hear the government say, no, here's the problem. Ultimately, we're the ones being messed over. We're the ones feeling the major problems, us as the consumers. Let's talk about the warning that McDonald's just gave us, along with several other fast food chains, and then let's talk about the food and how important it is to everyday life in America. Let's jump into it. Hey guys, welcome to The Max. Thank you so very much for being here today. If you are new to the channel, we do humbly ask that you subscribe to the channel if you like the content of today, and then also give us a thumbs up. Your thumbs up means the world to me. It's almost like a tip. You don't have to give anything. It just allows YouTube to know that this video is important and helps it spread across this platform. Now you hear all the animals and we're going to get to them. So we're by one of our big barns that has tons of animals in it. So excuse the noises, but there's a purpose. Now let's talk about McDonald's warning and also Burger King's warning and Taco Bell and etc. Tons of other fast food restaurants are coming in and saying, here's a problem. Now first let's start with what the problem is and what Americans are saying. They're saying they can't afford fast food. Did you know that the average American who is making under $50,000 a year cannot afford fast food? That's what new survey says. That literally if they eat on fast food for majority of their meals, first of all, they're probably very unhealthy, probably overweight and not active. But on top of that, if you are relying on your food and you're making under $50,000 and all your food mostly comes from fast food, then they're saying you cannot afford the food anymore. Americans are choking on the surging fast food prices and they cannot be justified, says one consumer. Now, the point of the article is to say, oh, the fast food companies are bad, they're raising prices. Well, the fast food companies are saying, well, there's two reasons that we're raising prices. First and foremost, you went from a minimum wage of $7.25 to $15, and in some states, $18 and $20. So he said, how do you think we can justify keeping workers on and keeping the food at $1, $2, or $3 pricing when you expect us to pay double or triple the price of what we were paying? So there's the first problem. Secondly, inflation. The average food inflation is around 35 to 40% when you buy it raw. Meaning if you're going to the grocery or you're going to a local farm, you're paying usually 25 to 30% over what we were paying back in the Trump years. Here's the problem. That's raw food. What about cooked food? Restaurants right now, fast food and sit-down casual dining restaurants are over 84% more than what they were just 3 years ago. So the truth is we can't afford that food anymore. Just like we can't afford the homes, the vehicles at this kind of pricing. Inflation. So McDonald's, Burger King, and all these restaurants have a point saying, well, because you made us raise the price of minimum wage because you want everybody to have a career instead of it being just a kind of a typical job to get to the next place. You know, McDonald's, Pizza Hut, all those jobs, they were never meant to have career people there. Most of them were pass-through jobs. People had them in high school, college, maybe you were down on your luck and it's a transition job. It was never meant to be a career. But then when we started making them careers, what happens? That means the wages go up. When the wages go up, that means that dollar menu becomes a $3 menu or a $5 menu or a $7 menu. One guy was interviewed and he said, it should not cost me $10 to buy a burger, fries, and a drink. Well, sadly, there's a lot of restaurants that's costing more than that, by the way. But he says in this interview with CBS Money Watch, he says, fast food becomes a rare occasion. It becomes what we used to say as a Friday night eat out with our family, something special. Now fast food becomes something special because the cost of goods for the typical American, they can't afford. A January poll of consulting says that the revenue management companies found that 25% of Americans who are making under $50,000 cannot make it and has to cut back on fast food. They are needing to eat at home. Now here's a benefit there, and that is a good thing in one way. When you look at McDonald's, they're not getting the majority of high-income customers. Most of their customers are middle and lower income. So that's the bulk of their economy. For McDonald's, low and middle income people coming in to buy food. Well, when they're hurt, it says people are resetting the way they're looking at food and we're losing money. Now, is McDonald's, kind of like Walmart video the other day. Are they going broke? No, they're not going broke. They're not going out of money. But because the consumer is going out of money, it's making these people re-look at this and say, you know what? I can't do this anymore. So think about this now. If the food system is that broken, do you actually think you're going to have 5 to 10 workers in a typical fast food anymore? If they reset and they change the way they look at it, you're going to see more AI-generated kiosks, and you may have 1 or 2 people actually cooking the food and pretty much all computerized. That's how I think fast food is going to face this, is that more people are actually going to lose jobs because of the crazy rate of inflation, but also the fact that minimum wage is doubled and even tripled in some places. McDonald's quarter pounder with cheese meal doubled in price. It went from, think of 2014, it went from $5.39 to right now $11.99 for the same meal. So that's again 100% price markup. Popeyes, Jimmy John's, Subway have hiked their prices 86%, 62%, and 39%. The price of a 2-piece combo from Popeyes went from $6.49 to $11.39. Again, whose income has doubled over the last few years? No one. So therefore, if you were purchasing the same thing and you may have gotten a 2% or a 3% raise over the last few years, or a 4% raise, you're nowhere near the cost of inflation that it's cost to buy this food. Now here's why I buy all the animals. My plea to you is the importance of buying food. Now, I'm not saying you have to buy it from the local Walmart. You can buy it from the local farm. You can also buy it from the local grocery store, whomever you like to purchase from. Right now, wheat, they said, is going to be at an all-time high this year. Beef and dairy are going to be at an all-time high this year because of the shortages, the inflation, and the fact of the wars going on that's in the wheat field, such as Ukraine. So that means your food system is broke. We're out of money. Inflation's cost us too much. We can't afford our bills. You've got to stop eating out. You've got to start buying your food and cooking at home. Now, the benefits to this is if you start buying your food and you start raising your own food, if you start growing gardens. Now look, that one garden there is about 10,000 square foot. Now you don't have to grow 10,000 square foot. You hear the sheep, you hear the cattle, you hear the chickens in the background. The whole point of what we do is the hard work provides us food to know that we have sustainability. I can't tell you the last time I've ate a fast food burger. Literally, it's probably been, it's almost been a decade since we've went to a fast food restaurant. My kids, I laughed the other day, one of my daughters, somebody was saying something about the cost of food, and they were talking, I think they were at church, and they were talking about the cost of food, and they said a Whopper meal costs this. Well, anyways, one of my daughters came home and said, what is a Whopper? You know what? I wouldn't say that kid or my kid is confused or missing out on something. It just means that she eats at home. There was a study that was done that typical fast food, just the chicken sandwich at Chick-fil-A has about 55 ingredients in it. Now, when I kill one of these birds, when I process one of these birds, it's the bird. And I'll put salt and pepper, maybe some garlic and onion on it. So when that bird gets to me and we eat, it's got five things. Meat that's raised with non-GMO organic feed, and then the 4 or 5 spices. So first of all, your health is deteriorating because you're eating this garbage from town. Secondly, the cost is now too much. You can now not justify with the fact of, well, fast food's a lot cheaper. It's easier and cheaper to eat in town. I can't buy the food for that price. That's bull now. So you need to start buying food. Right now, wheat and beef are going to skyrocket. Please start buying flour and wheat berries and trying to mill your own flour. Try to go ahead and buy as much beef as you can. I took 2 steer yesterday, and we will process them today. They will actually go through processing, hang in the cool room, and pretty much be ready for us to have meat for basically a year and a half off those 2 steer. Why do we do that? It's hard work. Don't get me wrong, there's days that it's raining, I'm fixing fence, I'm trying to get cows in. The purpose is I want to protect my family. Now, if you can't raise a cow because you live in an apartment, you can buy from a local farmer. You can bulk buy from a local bulk store like a Sam's or Costco. You can start learning how to can that meat freeze that meat and break it down yourself. You can start buying slabs of pork and learning how to make bacon and cut your own pork chops out. When you start doing those things and you start gaining some wisdom on that and not just letting someone fix your food for you at McDonald's, you start then realizing, yes, it's a broken food system. Yes, it costs a lot of money, but then there's still ways to save money. There's still ways to eat economical, and there's still ways to, because you're cooking at home, you're building sustainability, you're teaching your kids something, you're also being frugal, and not only that, you're able to sit around a kitchen table and you're able to talk to your family and not sit at some McDonald's restaurant and eating out a cardboard box. When we hear warnings from McDonald's and when we hear warnings from all these fast food places, heed these warnings, but then learn from them. So you know what? These warnings could be a good thing. It could teach us how to cook again. It could teach us how to be more sustainable again. Did you know before the 1940s, 50 to 75% of people raised their own food, or they had it bought locally from a local butcher, a local farmer, or a local provider? Boy, have we changed where less than 5% of people actually eat off farm now. That's a problem. So when we hear the warnings of how bad inflation is, how the government blames the stingy businessmen, the problem is we are literally struggling with our food system. It's broken. We've printed way too much money and we don't know what wants and needs are anymore. So let's bring it back home. Let's start being frugal. Let's start buying food. Let's buy it in bulk to save money, and let's start cooking at home, because when these people warn us, that doesn't mean it's going to get better. You know what happens when they need to lower the cost of food or make more money? They either lower the quality of food. Well, you can't get much lower than fast food restaurants. That quality of food is not there. It's not good quality. When you could go to a little hamburger joint and they don't even actually cook the patties, they just heat it up, or they get this liquefied eggs like at Taco Bell where they just put it in a warmer and it just warms up in water and gelatinous jiggleness. Ugh, it's just gross. Why do we want to do that to ourselves? So if they need to make more money, they're going to cut cost, and then they're going to get lower quality food, or they're going to start cutting workers, and they're going to start providing more AI jobs, more kiosk jobs, more computer generated jobs, where machines take the jobs away from humans. None of these things are good. So when we learn from these warnings, when we hear these warnings from fast food, let's do something about it. Let's be proactive. Let's quit buying the Quarter Pounders and the Big Macs and the tacos from town, and let's start making our own. How easy is it to can chicken, can beef, buy it in bulk? How easy is it to mill your own flour, to buy bulk flour and be able to make your own breads and biscuits? It's not that hard. It just takes you learning a little bit and, learning some old skills that we have lost along the way. It's time to get back to it. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about this video. And again, I can't thank you enough for supporting our channel. Give us a thumbs up if you like the channel. God bless. Be free, be free.